You are watching ThunderBayTrees.ca. Today we're going to talk about black knot on cherry, or also known as Apiosphaerina morbosa. In the horticultural sort of setting, in the urban setting, is a pretty significant disease. Typically it doesn't outright kill trees. However, it's cosmetically looks pretty awful. And in really bad infections, it can definitely compromise the health of a tree. What black knot does is it girdles the twigs. So what that means is it basically, over time, will kill the twigs. It reduces the ability for the vascular tissue in the twigs to move water and nutrients back and forth in the twig. And when that does it, it girdles it off, and basically that twig dies, and that section of the tree is no longer available to produce energy. Now, this particular disease is pretty common on purple leaf plum, which is a horticultural species that's planted all over the place in horticultural settings, largely for the purple leaves. The purple leaves are quite nice. Folks kind of sometimes will plant those to contrast the darker greens in their yards, and it really can be a nice ornamental tree. However, you do have the issue of having black knot potentially being a disease for this tree. Black knot is also found in northern Ontario on pin cherry, choke cherry, as well as on Canadian plum. So it's pretty widespread. It's part of northwestern Ontario. And if you happen to have a prunus tree growing in your backyard or wherever, your camp, there are a few tricks available to you to control black knot on those trees. Now, controlling it's pretty simple. Simple pruning and sanitation techniques can take care of black knot. And what you want to do is practice sanitation. So pruning coupled with sanitation. So when you do have black knot, you want to be, as you're pruning, you want to make sure you have clean pruning cutters or a saw. And you also want to prune at the right time of year. You don't want to prune in the early spring when it's wet out, and during a time when there's about, when it's warmer than about 10 degrees Celsius. That's when the spores are most active, and you don't want to be helping the spores out and spreading to other parts of the tree. A great time to prune then would be in the winter, because spores aren't active, and it's just a great time. Now, when you actually have the black knot removed, you want to dispose of it properly. So Omafra suggests what you do is actually burn it, or perhaps burying it, a depth of about a foot or so, and packing the soil. In an urban setting, you can just toss it in the garbage. What you do not want to do, though, is throw it in your composter, because you don't want to have those spores hanging out in and around your yard, especially if your tree is close to your compost heap. So if you happen to have a purple leaf plum with black knot, hopefully I've given you a few hints to control it. Till next time, my name is Jay Dampier for ThunderBayTrees.ca.